Thank you for staying with us. All indices are pointing to the success of the yet to commence student loan scheme of the federal government. President Bola Tinubu has directed that the focus of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund be expanded to include students interested in skill development programs, according to a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale. The president said it is important for the scheme to accommodate those who may want to pursue university education. Let's hear from the executive secretary of the fund and chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Services, Zach Adediji.
This intervention will affect the lives of many Nigerian youth, because that's usually the bracket that want to further their education. It will impact the lives of many Nigerian families. Many students are struggling to pay their fees. Their parents are struggling to pay their fees. There's a very high dropout rate. So it's one thing to get into the institution, the tertiary institution. It's another thing to stay there for 4 years or for 3 years. This scheme seeks to help people access and remain until they qualify or graduate.
The essence of education tax is to consolidate and restore education integrity and quality in Nigeria. And in fulfilling that part of the art, so that is why Education Tax Fund is one of the sources of funding, by God's grace, that we will use actually to propel and execute this laudable program.
You want to give us updates about this student loan?
Well, I think the cost is being expanded now. But for me, what they are saying now, is it accommodated in the bill or that has become an act that the president has signed? Or they are going to go back to the National Assembly for an amendment? Because the way it is now, it was specifically meant for students. Yes, I know that some universities, in universities now, they teach entrepreneurship.
College of Technology.
And so on. So what does this signify? Is the bill or the act going to be sent back to the National Assembly for amendment? Because the president has already signed it into a law. And there are areas now that we are seeing, or the government has seen, that these are, it has to be all-encompassing. It is good, as it is said, no law is ever perfect. When you craft a law, you look at it, when it begins to operate, you see a little loophole, you bring it in and doing all that. I think it's a very good thing that the government is doing. But we must get this thing very clearly. What are the procedures for getting the loan? What are the terms, the earlier steps that were spelled out, that you must have somebody who is a director in a ministry and all that? I know that one has been taken out because we know how cumbersome it might be. So what we need to understand is, with this expansion now, with the new skill acquisition, is it students who are in the university who are also studying and also doing entrepreneurship, or trying to do, or for other technical colleges and those who want to acquire skills that are not book-based? I think it's a good step, but the first thing I want the government to be able, or the board now, since they have a board, he no longer rests with the president. He now rests with the board, for them to sit down and clearly map out the strategies. This thing is supposed to kick off in January. We are almost we are past the middle of January, and we are still talking about it. So the earlier they sit down and give us the roadmap, the better.
I think the government is passionate about this program. Now, a lot of people will say implementation is what...
implementation matters a lot.
To make sure that...
It matters a lot. But I must commend the president first for the thoughtful. This is thoughtful. It's commendable. It's trying to incorporate the skilled workers, skilled Nigerians into this. It shouldn't be all about university students, tertiary institution students. Over time, we had bursaries, and we have loans and this on loans for students. There are some families who could not, who cannot afford to send their children to school, but they acquire skills. So, and most times this thing requires funds, it requires resources, money to push. So now, having to incorporate them in this, I think I drop my hat for whoever brought up the idea. It's a good move. The next one is a judicious, appropriation of the funds. We don't want to hear that the funds were diverted. I pray and I hope that the monies meant for this gets to those people the loans are actually, cared for. Don't hear story, because we need to do it. Things are really going on in this country. Some families cannot afford a lot of things. And I want to make a case too for some university some university dropouts, academically sound, but they cannot afford to pay the fees. So for me, I think they should top the list. They should top the list. For the move, I commend the president.
In addition to that, I think, we have missed our way for a very long time. Why? We don't pay attention to vocational training and things exactly. Look, the university system was created, first of all, to have an administrative cadre. The other cadre, now we have turned almost all polytechnics to universities, College of Education to universities, and all that. So everyone now looks at it. If you have a HND, you have a bar you can reach in the civil service.
You have a
so
BSc,
all those although theoretically it has been phased out, but it's still there.
It's been phased out.
There are some.
You just said theoretically.
Exactly. There are some fields that you don't need any university paper. Zuckerberg, for all you know, is a dropout. The same thing will be Gates. And these are people who are moving the world today. So you have a child.
Pay attention to.
You have a child who wants to study, who is very versatile in computer or gadgets. But you say that he must have a degree in computer science before you can employ him.
You can go to a skill acquisition.
Exactly. You can go to NIT and all those schools and he will be certified. So we need to reorientate ourselves. And the government will need to help in this direction. Don't let us face only those who are reading in the universities that no, you must have a degree. Okay. If you go to the US, many of them don't have degrees.
That's what they're looking for. Yeah.
So
foreign students attend their universities.
Exactly.
They hardly.
So
Anifoshe is calling us from Lagos.
Good afternoon, good evening, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead, please.
You see, this issue of skilled entrepreneurship in school, I think we should look at this area of direction. You see, most of our engineering, science, and technology, they should have this, their terminology being taught in our local language. I think this is where the Chinese people really leverage us. If you see an average, that's why they say the Chinese engineers are the best in the world, because those science and technology were taught in their languages. And I believe Lagos State Government, Lagos State University is doing that. by making sure they are teaching Yorubas and using them to teach science and technology in schools. So that's why you will see an apprentice. They are more savvy.
We are talking about student loan here.
To study all these things, because in Nigeria there are so many stumbling blocks in our front. Because if you don't pass physics, chemistry,
thank you, Anifoshe.
Take you. That's why you have a lot of people drop out.
Maybe Anifoshe will not get the gist of our discussion. But ultimately, will this in any way lead to increase in school fees?
Not
No,
necessarily.
that's why government should.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be because it's a loan.
It shouldn't be.
It's a loan.
It
So
shouldn't
that's why,
be.
apart from the loan, government should make an effort still.
The essence of the loan is to help those who cannot pay. So why do you increase
It's a control system.
Exactly.
You can't allow university to run amok. You know, there must be checks and balances. You don't say because a loan is coming, then no. That's why the government. They must be proactive because you just predicted. You know, I know you're around, so that's why you're suspecting. It will happen if it's not checked.
Some people are complaining that, through the back
door,
that they've increased the school fees.
And then this loan is going to be transferred to the university. It's from the university. It's going to be disbursed. I know government. Let's watch as I don't want to say anything.
No, I get what you are saying. You see, some of those things that the universities are doing, they are responding to the reality of the time. You want to register for departmental registering in our time, maybe it was about 500. But prices of paper and prices of ink and everything has increased. So there must be some adjustment. What we are just talking about.
The fact that a public institution is supposed not to be
exactly.
Like a private.
So for them, it's not supposed to be an encouragement for them to increase fee or to charge students anyhow.
Not allow that to happen.
All right. And finally, the last is